Parents, let me ask you something. If your child was left alone in a room with books, music, and Legos, which would they go to first? That first choice isn't random. It's your child revealing to you the best way they'll learn. Not how you want them to learn, not how the neighbor's child learns, but how they uniquely understand the world. Welcome to today's episode, the episode 2 of A Smart Parent's Guide to Lifelong Success. Today, we'll be diving into something every Nigerian parent must understand: your child's learning style. Because if you ignore it, school can become a battlefield. And no, the answer is not taking them to the most expensive school. We'll break that down too. So what exactly is a learning style? It's the natural way your child absorbs, processes, and remembers information. There are 3 major ones. 1. Visual. Think in pictures. They love colors, charts, videos. 2 is auditory. Learn by hearing. 3 is kinesthetic. Hands-on. They need to move, touch, and build things. Now here is the key. Most children are a blend, but usually one style is dominant. And if the teaching method doesn't match that learning style, guess what? It's like trying to force a fish to climb a tree, and that's not possible. Your child will either shut down or struggle silently, or worse, be labeled slow. And they are not slow. They are just being misunderstood. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: our school system. In many Nigerian schools, especially the ones we call top schools, there is a one-size-fits-all approach. Everybody reads the same notes, cram for the same exam, and is taught the same way. If you don't fit that model, you are a difficult child. But pause and think. What if your child isn't difficult? What if your visual learner is in a class that only dictates? Or your auditory learner never gets to hear explanations, just textbooks? Or your kinesthetic child is forced to sit still for 6 hours straight? We are not raising whole children. We are only raising exhausted ones. There is this quote that resonates with me every single time. Every child can learn, but not in the same way and not on the same day, by Dr. Miriam Diamond. So how do you discover your own child's learning style? Here is the good news. It's not complicated. You just need to watch and listen without pressure. Here is a quick guide. If they naturally love drawing, cartoons, visual books, they are visual learners. Talk to themselves, hum, sing songs, they are auditory learners. Enjoy movement, puzzles, physical games, they are kinesthetic learners. Ask yourself, how does my child enjoy doing homework? Do they draw it out? Read out loud? Act it out with toys? Do they fidget when sitting too long? Don't let cute school uniforms fool you.
Now here is where many Nigerian parents make the wrong turn. We choose schools based on: do they speak only British English? Is it expensive enough to boost my bragging thirst and opportunity? Do they wear ties in 39 degrees heat? Or are the rooms well air conditioned? these are not the most important questions. The right questions should be, can this school teach my child the way my child can actually learn? Here is a smart school checklist question that you must ask before you enroll your child in any school. Use this checklist when visiting any school you wish your child to go to or researching any school. The goal is to match your child's needs, not just your pockets or your pride. So number one question, does the school use a variety of teaching methods, not just chalk and talk? Ask these questions. Can you show me examples of how you teach with visuals, audio, and hands-on activities? Do you use learning aids like charts, videos, role play, or project-based learning? Why does this question matter? Children don't all learn in the same way. A good school should teach beyond the whiteboard. Question category 2. How do your teachers differentiate instructions? Ask these questions. If a child is struggling to understand the topic, what happens next? Do your teachers modify approach depending on the student's learning style? Why these questions matter? In a quality school, children aren't blamed for not getting it. Teachers adjust how they teach. The category 3 question. Are the classrooms interactive or rigid? Ask the school for open days to come and observe a lesson. If they do, observe and ask. Do your students get to ask questions and discuss topics freely? How do you encourage participation in classroom? Why these questions matter? A passive classroom stifles learning. Confident, expressive children come from active classrooms. If they don't have open days, run. Question category 4. How often do your pupils engage in activities beyond the textbook? Ask these questions. What kinds of projects, experiments, drama, or outdoor learning do students participate in? How do you incorporate music, art, or storytelling, especially in the early years? Why these questions matter? Creative engagement helps all learners, especially the kinesthetic and the visual ones. They help them to retain knowledge and build confidence. Question category 5. How do you assess understanding beyond examinations? Ask this question. Are children graded with only tests, or do you use presentations, practicals, group works, and so on to grade your students? Do you give children feedback that helps them grow, or do you just give them their scores? Why this question matters? Schools obsessed only with exams are not developing deep thinkers. They are just growing crammers. Question category 6. Do your teachers receive regular training on modern teaching methods? Ask this question. How often do your teachers get training on learning diversity and inclusive education? Do your staff understand differentiated instruction or learning styles? Why this question matters? A school can only grow as much as its teachers are growing. Question category 7. How do you support children who are learning differently or slowly? Ask this question. Do you offer learning support or remedial strategies? How do you handle children with learning disabilities like dyslexia or ADHD? Why this question matters? A good school doesn't sideline struggling learners. They support them with dignity. Category question 8. What does a typical lesson look like here? Ask for these things. A brief sitting or a video of a real class, not a staged one. Number 2, timetable samples showing subject variety, rates, and play or creativity periods. Why this question matters? What happens in the classroom tells you everything about the school's variety. Category question 9. Is the school environment emotionally safe? Ask these questions. How do you manage bullying? What systems are in place to ensure children feel seen, heard, and emotionally safe? Why this question matters? No child learns well in fear or silence. Emotional safety is foundational. Category question 10. Does the school see the child or just the result? Ask yourself after your visit, do they care more about grades or growth? Did they ask me about my child or they just quoted me a fee? Why this matters? A smart parent chooses a school where the child is known, not just known. Let me say this clearly. This is not about money. It's about mindset. Some of the best schools don't have Instagram pages, or they understand children. Ask to visit the school. Observe a class. Talk to a real teacher, not just their name over the phone or on the seats. And if you're stuck with a rigid school after doing all of this, balance it at home. For visual learners, use poster cards, flashcards, and YouTube. For auditory learners, explain lessons aloud, play audio notes for them. For kinesthetic learners, build models, use math games, let them move while learning. I say this a lot. Parents are not powerless. The home is the first school and often the most powerful. Parents, hear me clearly. You cannot force your child to thrive in a school that does not understand them. You cannot expect a harvest of confidence and excellence from a classroom that sows only confusion and comparison. Stop choosing schools based on bragging rights. Start choosing schools based on brain compatibility. Ask less of, is the school popular? And more of, is this school purposeful for my child's unique mind? Because our goal isn't to raise children who only pass examinations. Our goal is to raise thinkers, doers, and contributors to the society that we live in. Now, before you go, the next episode is not one to miss. We'll be talking about choosing the right school fit over fame. Choosing the right school fit over fame. Because no matter how expensive or popular a school is, if it's not the right fit for your child, it's the wrong investment. So hit subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with another parent you care about. Drop a comment about your child's learning style and tap notification bell so you don't miss the third episode. You are not just choosing a school, you are choosing your child's foundation. Be wise, be intentional. See you in the next one. Thank you very much.